England 2, DR Congo 1. This is your full-time match reaction from the 2026 FIFA World Cup, where England have avoided an absolute banana skin against this DR Congo side in the World Cup in the round of 32, where Captain Harry Kane comes to the rescue for the England team, where England at half-time were basically done and out. We were basically done and out, but steps up Harry Kane to rescue England once again with 2 goals in the second half to take England through to the last 16 of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Where would we be without Harry Kane? 5 goals in the tournament. Captain England, Captain Fantastic, fantastic Harry Kane. England have got through, but England have got through only just. That was such a hard watch. England did not make that easy. It was absolutely terrifying. We honestly thought we might eclipse the result against Iceland way back in 2016 when England got embarrassed by basically a supermarket shop. England are through to the last 16 of the FIFA World Cup, where Mexico await in the round of 16. Honestly, that was such a hard watch. That was so not easy to even witness that England performance today. And I was shocked we even went 1-0 down. I was shocked that we went 1-0 down to DR Congo. And give DR Congo a lot of credit. They've had a fantastic tournament. They're the first African team to get a win at this tournament as well. But England are through to the last 16 of the FIFA World Cup. Up steps Harry Kane to bag 2 goals in the second half. England are through to the round of 16. But again, the performance may not be pretty and the England results might not exactly be great. But, you know, we are through. That's the main thing. We are through to the last 16. Harry Kane to the rescue. But England have massively are going to have to step this up against Mexico. Because my big fear is, if we play like this against Mexico, all hell is going to break loose. And I don't think it's going to be a pretty sight for England. And I don't think those fans and supporters are going to be able to watch that game, because England aren't making this easy. England, typical England, make this such a hard watch. At every tournament that we are in, they put the fans and the supporters on the edge. They put us on the edge so much. But somehow we've managed to rescue that second half after what was a really tough first half. And to go 1-0 down was absolutely shocking. To concede a goal against DR Congo that no one expected, to be honest with you, everyone was expecting England to have this game basically won. And it felt like we turned up basically thinking that we're going to win the game. It felt like we turn up thinking this is going to be an absolute turnover. And maybe we got too cocky. Maybe we got a bit too arrogant. Maybe England thought, you know what, we've got this game won. What are DR Congo going to pose on us? What threats have they got? But I tell you what, England didn't get half lucky. England didn't half get lucky today. Because I tell you what, we could have been 2-0 down. We could have been 2-0 down at half time. Easily could have been 2-0 down. If Visser scores that chance he has just before half-time where he hits the post, England would have been out. England would have been out of the World Cup. We would have been 2-0 down at half-time to DR Congo. We're basically doing the conga. We would have been doing do. Come on and do the Congo. Do. Congo. We would have been do. Come on and do the Congo. Congo would have been 2-0 at half-time. We could have been down 2-0 at half-time. That is how hard they made that game for us. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate that on this live stream as well. Honestly, that was such a hard watch. England have got to step up the performances. The results need to be better. And we need to stop conceding stupid goals. We need to stop conceding stupid goals. Because I tell you what, if you're Jordan Pickford and Jed Spence, you owe Harry Kane a drink tonight. You owe Harry Kane a drink. Honestly, if we didn't have Harry Kane, and even Anthony Gordon stepped up in the second half, shock horror. Even Anthony Gordon stepped up in the second half as well. Something that I didn't expect Anthony Gordon to do. 70 to 80 million to go to Barcelona, and Anthony Gordon gets 2 assists inside the same second half to provide Harry Kane's 2 goals to take England through to the last 16. But that was absolutely terrifying. The first half was dreadful. We massively stepped up in the second half, and I'll tell you what, the second Harry Kane goal absolutely killed DR Congo's hopes. It absolutely killed them, but it's a fantastic goal. It's a fantastic strike, and thank God we've got Harry Kane. Thank God we've got Harry Kane. His performances may not be pretty, and it's pretty frustrating when he drops back so much to help the other England players. But when you need Harry Kane, you've got Harry Kane, and he's providing the moments that England need to get through to the latter stages of this World Cup. We're in the last 16. We are in the last 16. But honestly, things have got to improve, because if we play like this against Mexico, I honestly fear our chances of even getting to the quarters or even the semis is going to be mission impossible for this England team, because the performances aren't there. The first half was absolutely shocking. And the goal we let in, Jed Spence and Jordan Pickford, hang your head in shame. Like, seriously, hang your heads in shame, because you have got Harry Kane so much to thank for tonight. You guys are bloody lucky we found 2 goals to win that game. Because I tell you what, the goal we let in, I can't believe they're basically saying it wasn't a mistake. I can't believe the pundits in that BBC studio have basically said that wasn't a mistake from Jordan Pickford. Honestly, it was a mistake. You should never be getting beat at your front post. Jordan Pickford, all he does is boot it long. He's too afraid and too scared to come out of the England box. Honestly, Jordan Pickford is not a good goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford is not a good goalkeeper. And to be honest with you, I think you guys in this live chat probably would have saved that goal that Congo scored from. That goal that Congo scored with, I think all of you guys in the live chat would have saved it. The goalkeeping is absolutely horrific. I can't believe we let a goal in right at our front post, and you thought Jordan Pickford would be quite comfortable to keep that out. But to go 1-0 down to DR Congo, that must be a massive, massive, massive L for this England team. To even go 1-0 down in the first place, it's shock horror. Like, seriously. And apparently, I'm never happy. I am happy when we're winning. I'm happy when we're winning. But you've got to break down the performance. You've got to pinpoint the positives, and you've got to pinpoint the negatives. England could have been 2-0 down at half-time. England could have been 2-0 down. Take that into consequence. If we're 2-0 down at half-time, England are basically out. England are basically gone. How do people ever think it's coming home? No point focus on the negatives. We won the game. Focus on the next game. Exactly. Exactly. You've got to focus on the positives, and you've got to also pinpoint how England can improve. Obviously, the goal we let in, the goal that we did let in, it needs to be better defensively, and Jordan Pickford should have had it covered. But again, that's down to bad defensive mistakes from the England centre-backs, but it's also down to bad goalkeeping as well. Jordan Pickford should have kept that out. Jordan Pickford should have kept that out. That should not go in. You should not be getting beat at your front post. It's terrible goalkeeping. It's a terrible mistake. And I can't believe you've got pundits like Wayne Rooney, Joe Hart and Michael Richards basically defending it. Like, I'm sorry, you need to call a spade a spade. You need to call it what it is. Jordan Pickford is a shit goalkeeper. I would rather have Jordan Henderson in the net. I would rather have James Trafford in the England goal. Because I tell you what, they wouldn't have let that in. They wouldn't have let that in. But the problem is how that goal absolutely went in. From an England perspective, you've got to also look at the centre-back's position. You've got Konsa and you've got Mark Guehi. They step out so much that they leave so much space for that Congo players in our penalty area. We step so much away from them that we've left so much space. So At the end of the day, that is a mistake from the centre-backs. And I'm afraid to say that does need to be improved. And that can be worked on. That can be worked on. They made a mistake. They made a defensive error. That will hopefully get worked on. And hopefully England will improve from that mistake. So at the end of the day, also, you've got to look at Jed Spence defending for the goal as well. I don't know why people can't talk about the negative and only look about the positives. You've got to look at both angles. You've got to talk about the positives and you've got to talk about the negative. We can't just be here all sunshine and roses. England have avoided a banana skin here. England have avoided a banana skin. The performances aren't great. The performances aren't great. England should not be proud of how they played in that game today. The first half is atrocious. Jed Spence at right back is a disaster waiting to happen. Mexico will do as says Josh. Exactly. That's what I think is going to happen. I can't see England getting any further than the last 16. I'm absolutely with Josh here. I'm absolutely with you. I don't think we're going to get any further than the last 16. Because at the end of the day, we can have so much hope and so much belief that eventually the cracks will appear and the performances will drop. And England's performances aren't great. The football we are playing isn't brilliant to watch. It's making it such a hard watch for the England fans to bear. That football can be better if the players step up. They didn't step up in that first half. They got too cocky, they got too arrogant, and they thought this was going to be a walkover. And going into that with that mentality is never a good thing because a shock can happen. A shock can happen. But England need to improve. The mistakes will go away if England work on them. But I think these England players are so cocky and so arrogant that they think they're going to win every game. And the problem is when you make those mistakes, you've got everybody, blaming one another. What would you do without Harry Kane? Exactly. What would we do without Harry Kane? It's a very, very valid point. If we don't have Harry Kane, we don't have a goal scorer. We've got no striker because it doesn't look like Ollie Watkins is going to see hardly any minutes. I mean, Kobe Mainoo didn't get used again today. Saka didn't really do anything in that second half. Madueke, again, was atrocious in the first half. Marcus Rashford, again. No wonder Barcelona didn't buy him. No wonder Barcelona didn't purchase the guy. Honestly, England can get better and England can improve. The improvement can be there if England work together and work on the mistakes. But again, the goalkeeping and the defence is the main issue this England team have got. That's the problem. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. I've got no issues with that midfield. Our midfield, I think, is solid. You've got Declan Rice, you've got Elliot Anderson, and you've got Jude Bellingham. I've got no issue with that England midfield. The England midfield, I find, in my opinion, is okay. The defence is the main issue. I don't think Konza and Guehi look comfortable. I mean, Jed Spence at right back. Is a big, big issue. More big issue than the big issue magazines that you sell on your high street. Jed Spence at right back is absolutely trash. Honestly, I don't know why Trent isn't in this England squad, but I think we know why Trent isn't in this England squad because him and Thomas Tuchel have got something going on that doesn't want to be put in the public eye. But Trent Alexander-Arnold is a better player than Jed Spence. He's a better player than Reece James. And I actually feel sorry for the guy. Surely you can bury the hatchet and get on with it and let bygones be bygones. Like, surely you can work out this issue that you've got with each other and repair the relationship. Because Trent is a better player at right back when we need him. Where is Foden? Where is Jack Grealish? Where is Harry Maguire? Where's Luke Shaw? Where is Lewis Hall? There's so many England players I feel England could have been better with than without. And again, without certain players, England do look very weak. The attack, I think, is also something England need to work on. Because we've all been calling for Marcus Rashford to start for England, of course. And obviously, Marcus Rashford again hasn't done anything in the last two games. Did Soddle against Panama. He did Soddle again today against DR Congo. So I don't think Marcus Rashford is covering himself in any glory. And the problem is, I think this is why Barcelona didn't sign him. Because one day Rashford can have a good game, and the next game Rashford can be absolutely dreadful. Rashford is very, very inconsistent. And I don't think he did anything to really impact England today. He did soddle in that first half. And again, he's been shown up by Anthony Gordon that Barcelona have paid nearly 80 million for. And Anthony Gordon has got 2 assists to the shot Cora, something that I probably wouldn't say was going to happen. You know, Anthony Gordon has got 2 assists for Harry Kane. Anthony Gordon, who's literally done soddle in this tournament, has got 2 assists for England for Harry Kane. Like, fair play to Anthony Gordon. Fair play to Anthony Gordon. He's had his critics, he's had his doubters, but he did step up in that second half. So I do applaud Thomas Tuchel on that substitution. I think that was the right thing to do to get Rashford off and to get Anthony Gordon on. Because without those 2 assists, Harry Kane doesn't get his 2 goals. And England probably don't win this game. So, you know, you've got to be thankful for Anthony Gordon's impact. He's got 2 assists for Harry Kane to score 2 goals. At least he's done more for England than what Marcus Rashford do for nearly 60 to 65 minutes. I would like to see Kobbie Mainoo get some game time. But I don't rate Madueke either. I mean, Madueke, I think, is overrated. I think he's overhyped. And I don't know why Arsenal bloody brought him. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. I don't know why Madueke was even put in that England team. I don't know why Arsenal even brought him. Like, I don't rate the guy. I don't think he's good enough. And on that right wing, every time you get Madueke the ball, all you're going to get for him is either he puts a really bad cross in, or all he does is basically shoots. That's all I get from Madueke. That is all I get. And I think there would have been better England players in that position. I think there would have been better England players in that position to provide England with more of a threat. I think Madueke should not be in that England team. I'm really sorry. I don't rate Madueke. I'm never going to rate him. I don't think he's good enough. And people may not like that. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's good enough. I really don't think he's good enough on that right wing. Because he gets the ball and it's either a really bad cross, or all he does is he gets the ball and he shoots. That is all I get from Madueke. And we also keep losing the ball so much as well. That's another problem we've actually got in this England team. We get the ball and we're either really greedy with it, we shoot from a ridiculous angle or ridiculous space way out of the penalty area, or we play a really bad pass, or we lose the possession. We need to keep hold of the ball. We need to be dominating a game for 90, 95, 96 minutes. We should be dominating games against worse opposition. But fair play to DR Congo. Like, seriously, fair play to DR Congo, because they've got really far in this tournament. They've done themselves really proud, and they should be proud of themselves. They gave England an absolute scare today. They gave England an absolute banana skin. And England don't look convincing. England do not look convincing. The performance ain't there. The players ain't there. And it does look like they're all in it for themselves. It does look like they're all in it for themselves. And that's a big worry, because that brings on their arrogance. That brings on their cockiness. And it only builds up their egos even more to make the performances a lot worse to watch. England need to get better. We need to be dominating the ball against worse opposition. But again, we weren't convincing against Ghana. We weren't convincing against Panama. And we've not been convincing today. When you go 1-0 down, which was a major shock, that should have shocked England into life. And it didn't. That goal did not shock England into life. There's certain players in this England team that are carrying us. There's certain players in this England team that are carrying us. Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham. The list of players goes on of how much England are being carried by certain players. And unfortunately, a lot of those players do not step up. A lot of those players are too afraid to step up. And that's the big worry that I think Thomas Tuchel has really got to get a handle of what's going on in this England camp. Why aren't the performances convincing? Why aren't we battering opposition like DR Congo? Why can't we dominate the ball? Why can't we control possession? And why can't we score good goals? Because I tell you what, if you're coming up against France, Argentina, Spain, Brazil, Portugal, England ain't got no chance. England have got no chance. So England, I feel, in my opinion, and in my view, are getting carried by Harry Kane. And I do feel, in my opinion, we're getting carried by Jude Bellingham. I wouldn't have spent 116 million on Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson is a good player, but the price tag over that guy's head is astronomical. 116 million on Elliot Anderson's head. And the problem is that pressure is on that player's shoulders now to deliver, not just for England, but he's got to start delivering for Manchester City. And the problem is with that type of price tag, the pressure and the expectation has got to be up here. So he's going to have to deliver 8s or 9s out of 10s performances week in, week out. That's the pressure now. Jude Bellingham is probably England's best midfielder, in my opinion. I think Jude Bellingham is probably the only creative number 10 we've actually got in that England team. When you've got Jude Bellingham behind that striker to support him, I feel Jude Bellingham's probably the only one that creates, has got any desire in his game, and he's the only one who's not afraid to get that ball forward and attack the opposition. Because I don't see it from the rest. You've got Declan Rice and Anderson. They should be controlling that midfield. Those should be the two CDMs to control that the two CDM positions to let that Jude Bellingham create to go a little bit further forward. There doesn't seem to be no control there, and that's the big problem as well. You've got Declan Rice, who's meant to be Arsenal's best midfielder. I don't rate the guy. And again, a guy that Arsenal paid stupid money for. You paid stupid money for Declan Rice, and again, he's meant to be Arsenal's best midfielder. And again, I don't see that. I really, really do not see that. I don't see that guy Arsenal paid that money for. And Spence, again, I think the England midfield's okay. I'm not going to go in on the England midfield too much. But I would say, in my defence, the big problem you've got is in that back four. The big problem you've got is in that back four and the goalkeeper between the sticks. I think Jordan Pickford and Jed Spence are liabilities in that England team. You should not be conceding a goal from your front post. You should not be letting a goal in from your front post. It is shit goalkeeping. And the problem is, we've been saying this about Jordan Pickford for so long. He is too scared to bring that ball out. All he does is boots the ball forward and nothing happens from his distribution. Nothing happens. And we've been saying this for so long. We've been saying this for so long. Jordan Pickford is not a good goalkeeper. But people are banging on, well, who do you put in goal? Who do you put in goal? We can't put Dean Henderson in. We won't put James Trafford in. No, because you won't give them a chance. You won't give them an opportunity. I think Thomas Tuchel kisses the ass of some of these England players. You can clearly say Thomas Tuchel is kissing the ass of some of these players. He has got so many favourites, and the problem is he don't want to change it. He doesn't want to change it. He is stuck in his ways. He's in complete denial. If you're Thomas Tuchel and you're looking at England team, are you comfortable with that back four? Are you comfortable with Jordan Pickford in goal? Because that's where the mistakes are. That is where the errors, and that's what's costing England. It's that back four and the goalkeeper. The rest of the team is actually okay. I've got a problem with the left wing, and I've got a problem with the right wing. And also, you've also got a potential problem down the middle, because we don't have a better striker than Harry Kane. We don't have a better striker than Harry Kane. We don't have another striker. We don't have one. You can't really trust Ollie Watkins. Ivan Toney ain't getting a look in either. So what do England do? What do England do? We don't really have those players to be able to step up to replace the current crop of shit that we've actually got. There's so many things that England team need to fix that we're not really fixing it. And I think that England team could fix it quite quickly if England's got their ass into gear. If England got their ass into gear, we might have a really sustainable England team for the next few years. But unfortunately, we don't really have any players coming through the system of, you know, bringing England to a level where we need to be consistent. And again, the back four looks shaky. The back four is more shaky than a milkshake. Honestly, I would like Mainu to get some game time. I would like, you know, the right wing and the left wing to get worked on a little bit more, because you either get a really bad performance from Anthony Gordon or you get a really bad performance from Marcus Rashford. Madueke, I don't really see what he's offering England, if I'm being really honest with you. I think Madueke is overhyped. I think the guy is massively overrated. And on that right wing, all you get in from him is either he shoots or puts a shit ball into the box. That is all I get from him. And he's at bloody Arsenal. He's meant to be a Premier League champion with that club. But you put him in an England shirt and he's absolutely trash. It's absolutely trash. Honestly, it ain't good enough. So you've got a problem on that right wing. And the problem is we don't really have anyone else on that right wing except Saka. But what did Saka do in that second half? What did Saka do in that second half? Would you have taken Cole Palmer? Would you have taken Phil Foden? Like, what's England's plan? What's England's vision? Because the performances ain't there. No one's jumping up and down. No one's getting convinced with this England performances. The performance ain't there. The performances aren't there. You would think when you're making substitutions, they would light up like a Christmas tree lights. And unfortunately, it's not happening. Saka's not making an impact. The only substitution that made any impact was Anthony Gordon. The only sub that made any impact was Anthony Gordon. He's got 2 assists for Harry Kane to get the 2 goals. Not going to lie, you remove their goalkeeper and it's 4-1. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it if you guys are watching in the live chat. England can be better. England can be better. But again, what do you do? What do you do? Because what's the plan to break down Mexico? What is the plan to break down Mexico? That's the next thing. What's the plan to break down Mexico? Like, what is the plan? What's the vision to beat them? Because I'll tell you what, Mexico haven't conceded a goal in this tournament. They've kept 4 clean sheets in a row. They've also not lost any of their games. They've won 4 games in a row. They've not conceded a goal and they've kept a clean sheet in all their games. So I'm afraid to say, I think this Mexico game is going to be England's last game. I've just got a very, very bad feeling that against Mexico, it will be dangerous from our point of view. I think Mexico will really go at us. I think Mexico have got a huge opportunity to attack that England team. And if we don't create and we don't defend properly and we keep losing the ball and the transition's not there, then England are really going to struggle. And I think England are still struggling anyway. The performances aren't getting anyone excited. I mean, I would like to change the England team up. I mean, do you bring Anthony Gordon in against Mexico? Do you bring Saka in on the right wing to replace Madueke? Do you drop Kobe Mainu in and drop one of Rice, Anderson or Bellingham? What do you do with the back 4? Do you get on the phone to Trent and bring him back in and put him in at right back? Because I think Jed Spence can't be trusted. Do you drop Jordan Pickford and put one of the other England goalkeepers in between the sticks? I think Thomas Tuchel is going to have to seriously have a hard, long look at this England team because it needs to be better. We need to be more consistent. We need to attack as a team and defend as a team. But the problem is, I think some of these players are only in it for themselves. And you can see that. You can see by the body language. You can see by the facial expressions. Some of those players are getting seriously frustrated with one another. And the problem you get and the excuses that come out with is these England players don't play regularly together. These England players don't play football a lot together. But that's no excuse. All these players who play for England play at different clubs across the country, the planet. That's no excuse. Oh, we can't help that they don't play together. Well, that ain't our fault. Like, that ain't our fault. We never turn up, we never show up, and we never perform as a team. That team should be in it together, all for one and all for love. The Bryan Adams song. You should be all for one, all for love. You fight for each other, you win together, you get this country back on top where we should be. Because that England team have got some fantastic players. There's fantastic talent in that England team. But the problem is, because the excuse is, well, they're all at different clubs across the planet, they don't all play together, and they don't know the style of play from their club to their country. You put them in a club shirt, they absolutely light up a set of Christmas tree lights. They play fantastic, fantastic football when they're at their clubs. You put an England shirt on them, they don't show up. They don't show up. And that's a worry, because that's down to ego, and that is down to style of play at their current club, and they're playing something completely different when they're playing on an international stage. That's the problem these England players cannot cope with. They're playing with different players, the style of play is different, their manager's different, they're not at their club week in, week out. Which, again, you can't use that as an excuse. Those players should be fighting. Those players should be in it together from day number one. You put an England shirt on, the pressure's up here. The expectation is up here. And the problem is, we end up crumbling more than a Maryland cookie biscuit. We need to be fighting for every corner, every tackle, every shot, every bit of defensive work, every bit of an attacking work, every bit of the midfield work. We need to be fighting. And I don't see fighters. I see Harry Kane step up. I see Jude Bellingham step up. Anthony Gordon stepped up as well. We stepped up when we needed to. Because if England don't find those 2 goals, England are going out this World Cup. England would have been out. If we don't find these 2 goals, we would have been out. It would have been massively, massively embarrassing. The problem is we are bang average. Exactly. I completely agree. The football is bang average. It's not very good. It's boring to watch. It's not exciting to get thrilled by. England play such a boring style of football. All we do is pass it sideways or we pass it backwards. We pass it sideways or we pass it backwards. We need to get that ball moving quicker. We are too slow and the tempo is more down here than what the tempo should be up here. That tempo and that press should be like this week in, week out with every single England game. And it's too much tactically. We are playing too much tactical football. I completely agree. We are playing too much tactical football. Unfortunately, we're cooked. It's not coming home, says Jack. Mexico's going to absolutely destroy England. Too much tactical, says Farhan. Exactly. I think we are playing too much tactical football. I think it's too tactical. We don't know how to break down a low block. And we don't know how to attack teams when we should attack them. There's too much arrogance with some of these England players on the ball. A lot of these England players do hog it. I have noticed this. A lot of these England players do hog the ball. I feel like Thomas Tuchel is overrated. I feel Thomas Tuchel is right up his own ass. And his arrogance and the way he attacks his players, I don't think that's right for a coach to attack your games on your players on live TV. I think that's really, really unfair because you're the coach. You're the one that's picked this team. You're the one who picks these players. You need to get the players behind you and not against you. And unfortunately, I think Thomas Tuchel treats these players way over the top. But the problem is, England players have got too soft in the past, we've not really had a better approach going forward than what we've needed. I think the only way England are ever going to get back is you go and get an elite coach. And for me, that's Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp. That's the only thing I would say. You either get Jurgen Klopp or you get Pep Guardiola. That is the elite type of manager I think we need in this England team. Because it's no bullshit, no excuses and good football. That's the only way I see it. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. If you guys are new, please drop me a follow. We are trying to hit 5,800 followers. All of you are welcome if you want to join. You're all more than welcome to. It's got fuck all to do with Tuchel, says user. Players need to turn up. Where do you think England are going to reach? I think we'll get to that. I think the last 16 will be our last hurrah. I think the last 16 and then that will be it. I can't see England getting any further than what they are. I don't think England are going to get any further than what they are. I think Mexico probably are going to go into that game as the favourites. But England have got a huge opportunity here to get to the quarterfinals. We've got such a huge opportunity. Even Brazil right now can beat England in 2026. It's embarrassing. Pep should be the next manager, but our players need to turn up. Shite football to watch. Exactly. The football's not a good watch. The football is not a good watch. It's boring. It's lethargic. It's too slow. We are basically a team full of snails. We are basically a team full of snails. It's slow. It's lethargic. The ball either goes sideways or the ball either goes backwards. You aren't getting past Mexico, especially in Mexico City. Sorry, champ. Yeah, because Mexico haven't lost. I think Mexico are on this long unbeaten run at home. So that's going to make the task even more difficult because Mexico are on this unbeaten run. So I completely agree where you're coming from. I think Mexico are going to be favourites. And you should see the kickoff time, by the way. The next England kickoff time is at 1 a.m. in the morning. The next England kickoff time is at 1 a.m. in the morning in the UK. That is absolutely ridiculous to keep England fans up at that time. That is absolutely ridiculous. But how come they're snails then? Everyone in the world class, Bellingham, etc. is world class. Do you think Thomas Tuchel's going to stay after the World Cup? No. I think we'll get to the last 16 and then that's going to be it. I don't think Thomas Tuchel is going to last as England manager. The performances haven't improved. The way we're playing hasn't improved. And it feels like we're just the same old England, the same old story. We are never, ever going to win the World Cup again. We are never going to win the European Championships. I don't believe by all this false hope and all this false belief. Because I tell you what, it ain't great. It ain't great. We've got worse. And I think, in my opinion, we were playing better football under Gareth Southgate. I think we were playing better football under Gareth Southgate. I know he bottled 2 finals, at which he did, but that's down to mentality of the players. Gareth Southgate got a lot of hate. Gareth Southgate got a lot of shit and unfair criticism, but the football we were playing was better than this. We got to 2 back-to-back finals, which we lost. That's down to mentality issue of these players, not the manager. So, in my opinion, if Gareth Southgate was still in charge now, England would be playing better football than what we're seeing at the moment. I feel like the handbrake is always on. I feel like the handbrake is always on. The handbrake seems to be always on. It's like being in the car and the handbrake is stuck on. The handbrake's always on. I don't know why. I don't know why that is, though. That's the thing that puzzles me. When you watch England, it just feels like the players are not allowed to go and express themselves. It feels like the players are not allowed to go and do their job. Because I think Thomas Tuchel has got so much control and has got so much over those players. So if they ever make a mistake, they get absolutely rinsed for it. And you can see that on the touchline. I think Thomas Tuchel's behaviour on that touchline is absolutely disgraceful. I think Thomas Tuchel's behaviour on that touchline makes England look really, really shit. It makes England look, we don't have a bloody clue what we're doing. It doesn't look like we've got a bloody clue what we're doing. Please drop me a follow, by the way. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. Everybody's welcome on here.
Banana Leclerc.
Tottenham have just reached an agreement to sign Sandro Tonali, by the way. Yeah, Tonali's going to Tottenham. It's just broke now. David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano. Tonali is going to Tottenham. Another midfielder gone. Come on, England, says Henry. With this type of qualities, England should bring Euro World Cup and we just need a better manager. Tonali just signed for Spurs. For England to win, Kobe has to be on the field for the first 70 minutes. With this type of qualities round, England should bring the World Cup and Euros home. We need a better manager. Ineos out. What is his club doing? Spurs are getting more players than Man United. Watch Carrick struggle. Come on, Mexico, says Jimmy. Tottenham midfield is mad top 3 for sure. Exactly. And I mean, we are here to talk about England, but Tottenham signing Tonali is a fantastic, fantastic signing. It's a fantastic signing, and I think he'll be a major, major success. Tottenham have gone mad in the last 2 days. Mateus Fernandes and Sandro Tonali in 2 days. Say what you want there, but that shows ambition. That shows glory. That puts Man United down to a nutshell. Defence is shit. That's all we need to say, says Dan. We could have Pep. We need our players to turn up, which they never do. Why is our club refusing to spend money? Carrick's going to get so much abuse next season, but people like Saeed TV will make excuses. We're not here to talk about Man United. I'm not here to talk about Man United today. But I tell you, if you want, I'm not going to get people on, but I will. If you want to put your questions in the live chat, please feel free. Please feel free to put the questions in. Please drop me a follow if you're watching. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate all of you guys are welcome on here. I am just making a few little adjustments to the stream to make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye, because I have been trying it on some new layouts and stuff for the content. Should I put it there? Yeah, I think that's better. I think the time would be better there, to be honest. England questions only, says Bellingham looked knackered tonight. Be so cooked versus Mexico. Yeah, potentially. Who's your MVP other than Kane? Semi-final England versus Argentina. Well, Messi will cook us if we get Argentina in that final. Messi will absolutely cook us if we get Argentina in that final. He will absolutely cook us. He will absolutely cook if we get Argentina in the final. Why does Tuchel change his midfield like why does Tuchel change his midfield like France does? Semi-final, says Harry. Please drop me a follow if you're watching. Tap the screen, would really appreciate it. Tonali Spurs 100 million just now. Yeah, I've just seen that. Tonali's going to Tottenham. But yeah, back to England. But if you guys have got any questions, please put them in the live chat. Would really appreciate it, and I'll make sure I will try and answer those questions as best I can. Semi-finals, by the way, crazy, says Harry. I mean, how far do you think England are going to get? How far do you think England are now going to get? That's the big question. How far do you think England are going to get? Are they going to get in the last 16? Will they beat Mexico? Can we get to the quarters? Can we get to the semis? I think what needs to happen, we need Portugal to lose tonight, Friday. We need Argentina, Spain, and we need Belgium to lose. If all of them go out, then we've got a big chance. But like Lua, is it Lua or Luel? Davis has just said, not playing like that, we can't. This is it for England, says Sancho. Farhan says semi-finals. C says semi-finals. People need to realise Tuchel let Leverkusen win the title after signing 100 million Harry Kane. Do you know what? I'm actually going to pin your comment. I'm actually going to pin your comment because that's true. When Harry Kane signed for Bayern, Thomas Tuchel was Bayern manager and Bayer Leverkusen won the Bundesliga. That's a very good point. If Mexico scores first... Where's your comment gone? Where's your comment? If Mexico scores first, Mexico will score 2 and then we will be in trouble. England will scam a result versus Mexico, but Ancelotti's Brazil will knock England out. England played shit, says Lucas. Yeah, we were crap. We were crap again. All these performances haven't been great. The only time England have stepped up is Croatia. The second half against Croatia was probably the best football I've seen from England in ages. I've not seen that since then, and that's the worry. If we can play like that against Croatia in the second half, where's that performance gone? Where's that performance gone? That's what I'm really puzzled by. If England can do this against Croatia, why can't England then reproduce this football? Has the handbrake gone back on? Has the handbrake gone back on, do you reckon? Because it does feel like to me that Thomas Tuchel is just trying to get over and please everybody. Harry says Tuchel really has fucked us with the team. He has picked his... I can't read your comment. Tuchel really has fucked us with the team. He hates Spence, and he are only right back. England always plays safe, says Farhan as well. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen, would really appreciate it. A team like Morocco will easily beat this England team. Well, Morocco are still in this World Cup. There's no Germany. The Netherlands are out as well. What needs to happen? Brazil, Argentina, Spain, Belgium, and France all go out. That's the only way this is going to happen. Did we play better against Croatia, or did Croatia take it off the gas? Great. We've not got Tonali either. Gone to Spurs. We need to spend big now, or we're getting no one, says Ellis. Yeah, that Tonali news is huge. That Tonali news is absolute. I can't believe he's gone to Spurs. Well done, Spurs, though, for showing some ambition, I suppose. If we win against Mexico, we are going to verse Brazil, Argentina, then France in the final. England shouldn't have been picking Rashford in the squad because he's not great as Maguire, says Mr. Luke Everington. Because I saw a lot of fatigue with Croatia. Yeah, I think you're probably right. There was a lot of fatigue in that Croatia game in the second half. You could tell by the Croatian players. They were absolutely worn out. 100 minutes is crazy. Tonali, great player, but the market is mad. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think we need to focus on England. I know the Tonali Spurs signing is a big signing because Spurs have got two fantastic midfielders. I don't know what that means for Newcastle, but Conte is weak link. Spence playing out of position because Tuchel hasn't picked a decent right back. Exactly. How's Mainu got no minutes, says Ellis. Completely agree. I don't think Kobe Mainu's going to get picked, by the way. I don't think Kobe Mainu's going to get any minutes. And that's for Jed Spence. He is at fault as well for the Congo goal. He has got to take a lot of responsibility for that Congo goal as well. He doesn't even close down the shot. He doesn't put a block in. He doesn't put a tackle in. His positioning at right back is terrible. He's a liability going forward, and defensively he can't cope. He can't cope. He's got a lot to blame after the first goal, and it could have been two. If England go 2-0 down at half-time, we're cooked. We're absolutely cooked if we go 2-0 down at half-time. We are absolutely cooked. And it could have been 2-0. If Visser takes his chance, that would have been it. England would have been gone. We would have been out. And then Congo would have been playing bloody Mexico. Yeah, the defensive rose. Maguire must be laughing at home. Anderson was at fault, to be fair. He was making the man Spence had in the first half. Hi, I'm from Mexico. I hope the match against England is a good game and that the best team wins. Thanks, Alexis. Appreciate that. Mark the guy who scored, says Harry. Please drop me a follow if you're watching. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. Where's your comp? We aren't beating Mexico in Mexico, I'm afraid, says CXPN. So lucky Harry Kane's parents enjoyed themselves one night because you'd be on your way home. Thanks for the follows, Darren. Thanks for the follows, Evan and Llewell as well. Or Lou. In my opinion, Pickford should not be our number one. He is too unreliable, says Snappy. Yeah, so who do you start at right back for the next game? We haven't got one. We haven't got a backup right back. We don't have one. All we've literally got is Jed Spence. All we've got is Jed Spence. That's all we got. Madueke should not be starting, says Z. I completely agree. I don't think Madueke should start next game. I would drop Jordan Pickford. I would drop Jed Spence. I would make substantial changes. I would make substantial changes. Next game against Mexico. I'd do it. And even I felt Congo had lost steam around the 80th minute. Yeah. I think the second England goal killed them. The second goal absolutely killed them. There was no hope after that. There was no hope for Congo. There was no hope. The steam, the enthusiasm, completely gone. It was completely gone. There was no hope when England got that second goal. And like they were saying on commentating, England should not have scored from there. He had no right shooting from there and scoring. I think before that, they were out on their feet after the first goal. Yeah, most likely. But yeah, England need to step up. England need to improve, and it's got to start quickly. Because if France, Brazil, Argentina, Spain, Belgium, and even Portugal. So that's Brazil, France, Argentina, Spain, Brazil. No, Brazil, Portugal, France, Argentina, Belgium, and Spain. If all those six get through, then we're in big trouble. Because three defenders not closing down Kane. Gutted to not have Lewis Hall or Luke Shaw in the squad, to be honest, says Ivan. Completely agree with Evan. That Mexico game on home turf will make or break them, says Z. Completely agree. Please drop me a follow if you're watching. Tap the screen, would really appreciate it. I think we're learning a lot about this England team. I think we are learning an awful lot. I don't think the football's improved. I think the football has gradually got worse. I think the handbrake always seems to be on. The players don't seem to be ever allowed to express themselves. The football is either side to side or we keep playing the ball backwards. It just gets really boring. The football just gets really boring. It's not entertaining. It's not good to watch. And it's not a great sight. It's not a pretty picture. It's like going to an art museum and you go look at all the paintings and you're like, we've gone on a school trip here. It's like going on a really bad school trip. You've gone to an art museum. You've got no interest in going. You don't really want to go, but you've got no choice. And every painting you go across or go around looking at, it just feels really boring. You're like, I could have been doing so much more than going around an art museum all day. We should have had a pen. Couldn't be much more if we had the 1-1. I think the journey ends against Mexico. The Arsenal boys did well today. Started that attack for the first goal. Rice, Eze and Saka. Yeah, I mean... And again, I think Anthony Gordon gets the assist as well. Anthony Gordon has got 2 assists today. And I've been a massive, massive critic of Anthony Gordon. He's not had a great tournament. He's not played well. He's gone to Barcelona for nearly 80 million. And the fact of that he's got 2 assists in the same game, it doesn't mathematically make sense. How's he managed to do that? Never a pen. Me as a defender, if that was given against my keeper, I'd be fuming. Can England go to the final? Says Jonathan. No. You won't be able to function in that altitude. That Mexico are so used to already. How on earth has Tuchel took Madueke over Palmer and Foden? I have no clue. Not this Arsenal fan again, says User. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm a Man United fan. I'd like to see you assist, buddy, says Floody. But I would have done... No, what I'm trying to say is, I'm not a big fan of Anthony Gordon. I'm not trying to get on his back. But he actually stepped up and did something. I'm not having a dig at him. I'm basically saying he stepped up when England needed to. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to have a dig at him. But his performances haven't been great. England got to learn to start well and fire out the gate. England were magnificent, says User. No, they weren't. Poor for all for about 5 minutes. Any decent side would have destroyed us, says Aaron. Stop being so negative. We won. We're talking about the positives, but we're also talking about how England can improve. You have to look at both sides of the scale. You have to look at both sides of the story. It's not called being negative. You've got to look at both angles and both sides. How England won the game and how England can improve. You've got to look at both sides. You've got to look at both sides. It's not called being negative. It's having a view and it's having an opinion, which gets respected, by the way. We'll just say it does get respected. But I'm not called... It's not called being negative. It's called having a view and opinion. Rice needs to be dropped, looks knackered, and most of the deliveries were poor. Yeah, I would say that as well. I don't think England were great. It's not a pretty sight. It's not pretty to watch, but England are through. We are somehow through to the last 16 of the World Cup. What's happening with not letting Mainu play? Clearly, Thomas Tuchel has got agendas against some of these players. Thomas Tuchel has clearly got agendas against some of these players because it doesn't make any sense. Clearly, something's up there. Tuchel is blind, says Jonathan. He probably is. Chuck Mainu in there, says Bradley. You're over-exaggerating, lad. Without their keeper, we would have won 7-1. Their keeper saved them heavily. Why take him, says Paul? I don't know. Then why has he picked... Why has he picked them if he has something against him? It's stupid. The only people blind are overrated players. Simple as, says User. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. You're not fit to be a critic, says Floody. Right. I watch every game. I look at every single point, the positives and the negative, and apparently I've got no right tactically to have an opinion on it. Oh dear. Oh dear. I feel really bad that you've made that comment because everybody's got a view. Everybody's got an opinion. We don't have to agree with it, right? Everybody's got a different view. Everybody's got a different opinion. If you don't like it, I respect that. But I don't have to agree with your opinion. I don't have to agree with your view. But I respect what you're saying. And I'm not going to go in on you because I don't do that. I've been brought up to be kind, caring and loving. I'm not perfect. I'm no angel. But I don't have to respect your opinions and views. I know you, but you can't just say their keeper was good to have to adapt and find a way to score. Exactly. I don't know if it seems to be negative Wednesday. A week. I mean, are some people getting that midweek problem where it's Wednesday, we want to get to the end of the week, we want the weekend? Is it negative Wednesday? Because it does come across, it feels like a little bit like negative Wednesday. We're getting to that middle of the week, we want it to end, we want the weekend. It does feel like it's a little bit negative Wednesday. But, you know, it is what it is. But England are through. England are through to the last 16, where Mexico now await. Do you know what? I'm really sorry, mate, but your comment, you're gonna get muted for the entire live. And guess what? I can make you disappear. Block the account. Oh dear. England needs some respect. We found a way like we do many times. Mexico's going to be tough, says Jonathan. Against Congo, Panama and Ghana, you aren't beating Mexico. Exactly. I think the same. I think we're going to really struggle against Mexico because, again, Panama, Ghana and DR Congo, a lot of those teams have used the low block. A lot of them have used the low block. Not necessarily a lot from DR Congo today, but a lot more from Ghana and Panama. The low block was used. Frustrating game, something needs to change in defence. Completely agree. Please drop me a follow if you're watching. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. We're never beating Mexico. We struggle every game. It's embarrassing. Alfie just says Mexico won't use a low block. Mexico will come out flying. I think we can hurt Mexico. If Mexico do come out flying, we can then break them on the counter-attack where they then leave space and gaps for England to get in behind. So let's hope we let Mexico at us and then we break them on the counter. I think Alfie's put the nail on the head there. I actually agree. I think if Mexico start well and they come out flying, the gaps in the space will get left. So maybe we can take an advantage from that. They will there at home in the biggest game, first 10 minutes, keep it tight, then we hurt them. Mexico will think of blast us. It's their home ground, their weather, says user. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, but, you know, thank God for Harry Kane. Like, seriously, thank God for Harry Kane. Like, seriously, thank God that we got those 2 goals. Otherwise, England would have been out. England would have been out tonight if Harry Kane doesn't score those 2 goals. Captain Fantastic Harry Kane has come to the rescue. Fair play to Anthony Gordon as well. Fair play to Anthony Gordon because he's got 2 assists to get Harry Kane's 2 goals. We need to go into this game thinking we're going to steamroll them. We're going to wipe them out. We need to go into those games being confident, but not too cocky and not arrogant, thinking the game's already won. João Silva says we're going to go out against Mexico. Mainu must play, says Worley. Altitude will be a factor. What if Vissa scored the 2nd goal? Exactly. But yeah, England are through to the last 16. We play Mexico in the early hours of Monday morning. It's going to be a 1 a.m. kickoff here in the UK on Monday morning. That is going to be... And the match reaction isn't going to be until like 3 in the morning. My match reaction will be at 3 in the morning. So make sure you guys stay up for that, where it's a 1 a.m. kickoff and we're going to be doing a match reaction at 3 a.m. in the morning. That is going to be absolutely crazy. That is going to be absolutely crazy. So England are through. England 2, DR Congo 1. Harry Kane at the double. Harry Kane to the rescue. England are through to the round of 16. I'm going to give Harry Kane player of the match for the 2 goals, but I've also got to give a massive shout out to Anthony Gordon for providing both the assists for both of Harry Kane's goals to get England over the line against DR Congo in the World Cup round of 32. We're going to leave it there. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Thank you for all the likes. Welcome to all the new followers, all the people that have tuned in and watched. If you haven't followed already, please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. All of you are welcome on this community. Our next match reaction is going to be in the early hours of Monday morning, where England play Mexico in the round of 16. Can England get to the quarterfinals? Can some of the bigger teams go out? Let's find out over the next days of the FIFA World Cup here in 2026. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. You guys are amazing. You guys are electric. You guys are great. I really appreciate all of you on this community. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, where you guys are across the globe. Have a great week. Have a fantastic, fantastic weekend coming up as well. Stay safe, be nice, be kind to each other. You're all legends, you're all legendary. See you all on next one.